How's it going? 2 videos in one day. Hopefully these won't be too long. This is something that I have gone back and forth, and back and forth on as far as a camera that I want to love so badly, and I do love it. And if I had unlimited funds, I would keep it. But a comparison that I want to give you today is a comparison between the Nikon ZF, so that's this guy, and that is the 40 millimeter f2, right? So there's the Nikon ZF, and a comparison with the X-Pro2. X-Pro2, here. I don't know if you can see that. We'll just set them down. I have no idea if these are in frame at the moment, but I'll show you for the comparisons. But I want to love the ZF so badly, and there are things about it that I do love. I love looking at the Nikon ZF. It is a beautiful, beautiful camera, right? The dials, I mean, you can't ask. Let's see here. Let's do some ASMR, right? I mean, those dials are perfection. They really are. They really are. What about this guy? There's perfect tension, perfect everything. The build quality of the ZF is extremely high. It really is. I mean, I feel like I could just sit here and do workouts with this thing. I mean, it is just a beefy, chunky. That's the phrase I use for the ZF. It is a beefy, chunky dude, right? And so I enjoy looking at it. I don't enjoy looking at the Nikon pancake lenses. This is Nikon's pancake lens. This is Fuji's pancake lens. Hopefully you can see that. Pancake lens, pancake lens. One's like southern, buttermilk. I don't know. One is your California, almond milk pancakes. But there's just a big difference. And where I'm going is, it's fun to look at, it's less fun to shoot. And I'm going to catch a ton of slack for that. But like carrying this thing out, and this is as small as I'll go, right? I don't like big setups. Like if you look at my setup, I have several cameras. Like I've got, the ultimate little small camera. These things for their purpose are unmatched, but they're not good for everything. And I would not shoot them at the beach in the wind because I'm going to pay $1,000 and get dust on my sensor. Then I'm going to be ticked off. There's this guy, which we'll get to that later. But for comparison's sake, let's look at the Nikon ZF and let's look at an X-Pro2. I don't know if that's a comparison that anyone would make. I don't know that someone would say, oh, let's compare sensors. Let's compare, low light ISO performance. That's not where I'm going with this comparison. The comparison I'm going here is I want a really cool camera, a retro style camera, a fun camera to go out and take snaps with, right? Like people are not on notice with these cameras. That's one thing I'll say. And there's like kind of a ranking on notice. There's people want you to take their picture with a Fuji X100. I mean, like literally I was taking a picture of a guy's car on the boardwalk, and the guy screams, is that a Fuji? Is that the Fuji? And I'm like, yeah, like you're not going to get any pushback taking pictures of people most of the time, right? With this camera, it's like a piece of art. This is very similar. But what I've learned, and I'm probably diverging here, I'll get back on topic. But what I've learned is I take pictures of my boys every day, right? The GR technically would be perfect. Their AF is not perfect, right? And so, but what I've learned, and I've had them do it to me, is you get this camera and you put it in someone's face, right? There, it's in your face. I don't know if how this is showing on this lens. It's right there. You see a camera aimed at you. Like, you would think these would be similar, but now look at this. Like the beefy chunky, it comes out. So when it comes to a camera, let's just do this for fun. Who doesn't want that aimed at them, right? I know it seems like it's close, but this is a much bigger big black chunk of steel or magnesium, whatever it is, in your face versus this. I will go down the road a little bit of image quality. I would bet that they're pretty close on low ISO noise. This is like a 26, 24 megapixel sensor. This is like, what, 24, 26. So they're very similar. I know this is full frame. This is a crop sensor. I don't even know at this point if you can see these cameras. I apologize. The Fuji is a crop sensor. The ZF is a full frame sensor. What does that give you? That gives you better depth of field, at certain lenses. It gives you, on paper, better dynamic range. The dynamic range of the ZF is extremely good. The low ISO or low light, high ISO performance is very good. But what I've learned from shooting ZF, X-Pro2, and this is, X106 made in Japan. I know that is so important and not important to someone. What I've learned shooting them is, number one, I will only shoot the ZF with the smaller lenses, and they're not even small, as I've shown. And so once you put the 50 millimeter, the 35 millimeter, the 24, no. I mean, beefy, chunky just went and ate the buffet, right? You put anything bigger on this, and it's like, chicken fried steak, they just load it up and it just becomes extra beefy, chunky, right? I can put a 33 millimeter, which is not a small lens, right? I can put a 33 millimeter on this and it's going to be about here, right? And I'm not even talking about how it fits in the bag or anything like that, because I've got a 3L and a 6L. I can fit whatever. It's just how fun it is to use, right? And so in my opinion, the way I shoot is I shoot my boys casually. I go out for walks around Los Angeles. I drive around Los Angeles, and I just aim the camera and take pictures, right? And in that scenario, I much more enjoy shooting the X-Pro2. It is lighter in the hands. It's easier to carry. The image quality from this, I'm going to catch so much slack. The image quality from this, I want to say on par, and I'm sure someone will do some results or some test shooting or whatever and say that the ZF blows it away. But when I look at my images, and I'm talking color and black and white, because I love the black and white out of this camera. When I look at all of the images that I shoot, I am not seeing, and that's with the 27 millimeter and the 40, I am not seeing some massive increase in sharpness, massive increase in pop from the ZF. I'm not seeing it. Right? The crazy thing is this can almost cost as much as this, I mean, yeah, you can get it for like $1,000 and this is, used $1,400. So what else would I compare these two on? They both have amazing shutters. Let's see if I can pull this off with the camera. Oh, it doesn't want to focus. Let's see here. That AF motor, man, and the 27, people hate it. I love it. Okay, there's your X-Pro2. There's your X-Pro2, one more. Ooh, I do love that shutter. Do I have a battery in this thing? All right, let's crank up the Z40 and do a shutter. And some people are like, this is so stupid right now, but some of us love the sound of a shutter. I'm just telling you this. Come on. I mean, this is not a hard, that sounds very, I mean, it's a great shutter, but the X-Pro2 is like the most classic. I love that shutter sound. So if you're in the market for a retro style camera and you can't decide, you can save $500 and pick up an X-Pro2. The build quality, let's get into that. As we know, the rubber eye cup can come off. I've addressed that issue, obviously. My advice to you is don't fit it tight in a bag. If you're going to put this in a bag, have some room. Don't let it be like the last thing that you shove in there to where this is rubbing. I don't know if you can see this again. This is rubbing against going in. Take some care of not grinding or rubbing stuff against the eye cup. Protect it, and it should last a while. Obviously, we know that the rubber eye cup of this can be replaced in like 5 minutes. Been down that road, that horse is dead. So what else would I compare? The ZF is a beefy chunky. The ZF is, in my opinion, only fun with the small lenses. The small lenses are the, buffet style version, or the whole milk version versus the almond milk version of the pancake lenses. You're going to see similar image quality. You're going to see similar sharpness, which is all based on lens. These lenses are very similar. You're going to see very similar noise. Obviously, a full frame will have a little bit better noise profile. But like, the crazy thing is, some people love the noise profile from the Fuji. I recently took a couple of black and white shots with the X-Pro2, posted it to social media. I put no tags. I didn't say what I shot with. And one of the first comments back was, the tones are absolutely perfect from that shot. It was this. It was this. And I don't know, in black and white, I shoot. I don't edit. I edit my color images a lot. Classic chrome, whatever with this one. And, you can't go wrong. The black and white is nice out of the ZF. The black and white out of the X-Pro2 is just as good. I promise you. Let's go down the road of color and film recipes while we're at it, right? Why not? So you've got the ability to add recipes from Nikon. You've got recipes from third parties. I've loaded so many recipes on this camera. And what I've learned, I think, is that I'm just not a recipe person. There's Kodak Gold, there's Portra, whatever it is. There's all these different recipes. There's green-based, film-based, cinema. And obviously I have recipes on this as well, but at the end of the day, I do love just a little warm image, maybe a Kodak Gold. The addition of recipes to ZF has made zero impact on my decision to keep or sell the ZF. And I will be selling the ZF. It's so weird because it's a camera that I had sold, our house burned down, so that camera that was boxed and ready to go burned, and I felt this weird emotional attachment, like I should have owned it. I should not have sold it. And I may have said that, like I was meant to own that camera. I'm glad that I tried it again. And I do love it. Like I've said, I do love the camera. But I'm just not blown away by it. And, when I point cameras at my boys and I take them out in public, I much prefer the X-Pro2. So, oh, let's do a size comparison, see if I can pull that off. So here you've got, my gosh. This is, I don't know if you can see these. And like, I don't know, I'm not a small guy. And I'm like over here like, this thing's heavy, right, the way I'm holding it. So you've got this, right? So there you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see with my hands. And then I'll hold them this way. It's like so easy with the X-Pro too. That's a size difference. I'll see here. I don't know if I'm doing anything like that. This is a legit workout. I'm going to get a pump from the ZF. And so, going back there. Let's get this in your face. Let's get that in your face, right? And so I'll close with saying that I am in no way disparaging the ZF. I am so happy that Nikon made this camera. I'm so happy they decided to also make it in silver. I wonder why they did that. I know it came in silver before, probably. So anyway, the ZF is an absolutely amazing camera. The AF will beat the X-Pro2. And anyone who buys a ZF who wants that retro style camera is probably going to be happy. I will just warn you that you need to go pick it up and play with it in the store and try it in the store before you buy it. And you also need to understand with the ZF, what are your intentions with lenses, right? And so is this your one-stop camera where you're going to buy it with the 40, then you're going to get the 24 to 120, and then you may have a 35. If that is what you're going to do, you need to go do that in the store, because you should go down a path of like a ZF2 or 3, whatever it is, something with a grip. Because this camera, my personal opinion, this camera, once you take this lens off and put a bigger lens on, it's not fun. It is beefy, chunky at the buffet. I would never put like a 50 to 140 on this. This little 27, I think this is the only lens I own right now for a Fuji. And I am thinking of buying the 33, but I'm like, why? Like, I mean, I'm getting pretty much everything I want out of this. I have other cameras for other purposes. I will do this comparison for you. And I should probably take this hood off. Let's see here. I love this hood. It's a Hoge, I don't know how to pronounce it. So here's your X-Pro2. I mean, this X106 is heavy. I know there's a case on it. Can I take this off? Let's see here. The things we do for you. I love this case. It's a small rig leather case. Really nice. All right. And if you're curious, the straps are by Gordy, G-O-R-D-Y. So this is the two comparison. Go here, here, and then yes, there's, let me get technical here. The X106 is smaller. It is. But you know, it doesn't have that glorious shutter sound. It's got the leaf shutter, so you don't hear anything. I don't know if that helps. So that's a comparison between those two. So I'll close with, you can't go wrong with either. For me, it's crazy. I'm probably a video or two away from literally screaming that I'm never going to own Fuji again. To hell with them. You can't buy them. You can't trust them. You can't repair them. It's too expensive. You know, warning, 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 to getting this back and it displacing the ZF, because there's something to be said for fun. And I have chased sharpness for so long. I have a Sony a7R5, and there's a purpose for that camera. We are rebuilding our home, and I'm going to take a lot of documenting photos with that camera. But going out shooting, there is just something to be said for fun. And the X-Pro2, in my opinion, is still one of the most fun cameras that you can possibly own. It really is. It is well built. The shutter sound is amazing. The image quality is amazing. The black and white is amazing. The color profiles, film simulations are amazing. It is an absolute classic camera, and it's just fun. It's absolutely fun. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You know, technical questions, I mean, I don't know. We know that the full frame benefits versus APS-C, but it goes back to fun. I'm not thinking about that when I'm walking around, you know, taking shots. So appreciate you guys. I will close with that. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will try to do another video on the X106. I'll just say this real quick. Why not, right? I don't know if you're still watching. You've probably skipped ahead and whatever. But there's this big controversy about the made in Japan versus made in China Fujis. I've always loved made in Japan Fujis. I think that Fuji is a Japanese company, and it's awesome when their cameras are made in Japan. I am not anti-made in China. I did notice a lack of quality, or a drop in quality, when the XT2 went to the XT3. 4 was a beefy monster, so who knows. XT5, you know, but I will say for the record, I personally went into Sammy's and I pulled a demo XT5 made in China, and they let me hold a XT5 made in Japan out of the box. You can't turn it on. Hey, we'll let you play with the dials or whatever. I was going to buy an XT5. I wanted an XT5 made in, you know, Japan. I was going to buy it, and I played with the dials, looked at it, because I just wanted to own one that was like made in Japan. I could find no difference, none. I mean, like, I would have no qualms whatsoever about buying a made in China versus made in Japan XT5. Now, I have owned 3 X106s made in China, and the only reason I own this is that day I walked into Sammy's and I was going to look at the XT5. They did not have it in stock, and then I was comparing the you gotta have one of these guys, right? I was comparing the XT5 made in China, and the guy goes, well, you know, we just got 3 X106s made in Japan, right? I'm like, okay. And you either buy those or you don't. And the thing about that is, I knew that I bought it. I can sell it within hours for what I bought it for. So there's really not risk, other than maybe, I don't know, credit card interest or something for if you hold it. There's really no risk in buying an X106. But I do want to add as far as the quality of made in Japan versus made in China X106, first of all, the X106 might be one of, and this is the made in China version, when I got it, one of the best quality feeling cameras from Fuji I ever bought. Now, the on-off switch was like way too loose, and it doesn't feel too bad on this one, but the only thing that I could find with the made in China versus made in Japan X106, and keep in mind, I think I've owned 3 made in China X106. This is a made in Japan X106. The only thing that I could find is the back screen. If you tapped it like this, and it is here, it's not like I can hear it a little bit, but like if I tapped that with the X106, there was a significant rattle. It was to the point, I'm not crazy OCD, but it was a noticeable enough to where I took gaff tape and I placed some gaff tape in certain areas on the inside portion of the X106 and trying to quiet it, like, you know, because I'd go to review image and do stuff and you'd hear a little rattle, 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 or whatever. I do not have that issue with this made in Japan X106. Another thing that I cannot prove, and I guess I should go find, and maybe they just changed it on the X105 versus 6, but this eye cup, I'm like eye cup paranoid now, by the way, because of the X-Pro2, but the eye cup on the X106 is less rubbery, it's harder plastic. And I'm almost positive, and I can't remember if it was a 5 or a 6, but I did something to where I had basically a gash in my eye cup. And maybe it was the X105 and they made it better on the 6. But, you know, like I also, you know, take care to put it in your bag a certain way. But this is much more durable, much more hard. So anyway, that's my old, you know, PSS on the made in Japan thing. Didn't notice a difference in the XT5. Noticed a slight difference in the X106. I would not sweat it at all. I will say I'm not anti-China anyway. I have talked to people in manufacturing and they said basically what it comes down to in China is you just pay for the level of quality that you want. If you want tier 1, you pay for tier 1 quality. If you want tier 2, you pay for tier 2 quality. Apple pays for tier 1A plus quality, right? We know that, you know, these things are made extremely well. The caveat to that is I was told that in China, if there's any way for them to save any, like a penny on the tier 1 quality, they will look for it, right? Whereas a lot of pride is taken in how these things are made in Japan. And sometimes it's not the parts, sometimes it's the culmination of the parts and how the parts are put together. So sometimes that can make a difference. And you've probably been watching long enough. If you're still here, thank you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And happy shooting. Have a good one. Take care.